are defeating. Purpose always fleeting. I pose questions to the ceiling like an answer.
I have decided, unfortunately, to quit caffeine for 30 days and basically see what happens. I've decided to quit caffeine for several reasons. Number one being productivity. I don't have a job where I need to be super productive for like 2 hours of the day or perform for 2 hours of the day. I have really long days where I'm trying to get like a huge list of things done, and I'm trying to be a high level productivity for like 12 hours a day. So caffeine isn't really helping me with that. I find that I'll drink like a coffee at like 5 or 6 a.m. and then by like 2 or 3 p.m. I'm absolutely dead and just cannot get out of that hump for the rest of the day, and I'm just kind of like slogging through my day. So my theory there is if you drink caffeine, you have higher highs and lower lows as far as energy goes, but if you never drink caffeine, your average energy is higher throughout the day. That's just my theory. I've tried looking it up. I haven't really found anything on it, so I'm just gonna be the guinea pig here and make myself a little test subject out of this and see if it helps my productivity, my willingness to get things done, and my ability to get things done throughout the day. Beyond that, I'm hoping that it increases my sleep quality. I'm always trying to sleep better because I think that's super important, especially on the productivity end. And in like the last 2 months, I've been getting restless leg syndrome. Never had that before in my life, so I'm hoping maybe this is somehow tied. I'm not really sure, but you know, I'm hopeful on that end. I'm gonna try and document everything I possibly can on this, any effects that I have. I know that it's gonna be pretty treacherous in the beginning because I didn't drink caffeine for 1 day like 6 months ago, and I had the worst headache of my life by the end of the day. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I drink less caffeine now than I did then. Back then I'd have like maybe 3 drinks a day, caffeinated drinks, and now I just have 1. I limit myself to only 1. So I'm hoping it's a little bit better on that end, but I still know the first like week is just gonna be torturous, getting through my week and trying to get things done and remain productive and not fall asleep at my desk. But I'm hoping by the end of 30 days, it'll be like illuminating, like, wow, I don't need caffeine, this is amazing, and I'm not gonna just be like, okay, I'm ready for a coffee. So I think that this will be super interesting. Like I said, I'm gonna take down all the notes and information I can on my experience, and here we go. Day 1 is over. This idea sucks. I'm so exhausted. Oh, I knew it was gonna be bad, but come on. Just can't wait to go to sleep. That's all. That's it for today. So in a positive turn of events, here's something that happened. It's only day 3, and I had a hard workout this morning, and normally right after a hard workout, I'm kind of like in a pit for like 30, 45 minutes right after. I feel totally drained, but today I had a hard workout, and I actually feel pretty darn good, high energy right now. Still early in the day, so we don't know how the rest of the day is gonna be, but this is one little thing, one little sliver that I'm holding on to that it may actually be a pretty good experiment. So fingers crossed.
Sometimes I wonder if I felt more at home in my own skin instead of always feeling fake with my genuine moments stop feeling off.
So I'm just a couple days in and I'm just absolutely dying, but this makes me realize like how much of a crutch caffeine was for me, and I only had like 1 cup of coffee a day. So it kind of blows my mind and makes me feel even more strongly about quitting because now I realize like how dependent I was on it. So, yes, I'm struggling more, but it's also kind of like more influential. It kind of makes me want to quit even more just because I'm so dependent. So I think the struggling will just last a few more days, but beyond that, it's just like, wow, I was thoroughly addicted with 1 cup of coffee a day. It's day 5, and I think we made it, folks. I think I made it past the pit of despair, and I'm on the upswing. I don't feel like I should be cast as a member of The Walking Dead anymore, and although I'm pretty tired, I can function. So I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and hopefully it just gets better from here. So this is when I really wish I had caffeine. It's like 3 p.m. right now, and I got like 15 more items on the to-do list for today, and I am absolutely dead. I would kill for some caffeine right now. So here's something I didn't even think about. When you go out, there's very few caffeine-free options. I went bowling last night and I asked for a Diet Coke, but then I quickly realized there's caffeine in Diet Coke. So I asked if they have any caffeine-free Diet Coke, and no. So I stuck with water. I've now been 18 days caffeine-free, and that sounds like an eternity when I say it, but a couple notes on what I've been experiencing so far, especially with my sleep. That's the biggest thing that I've noticed a difference with. I've always been really adamant about sleeping enough and allotting for like 8 hours of sleep, but I found myself waking up after about 7 hours and feeling refreshed and fine and ready to get up, not really able to fall back asleep. So I don't know if that's 100% correlated, because there's a lot of different variables in life and what's going on, but that's something that seems to be pretty consistent and basically never happened in the past. Basically every single morning in the past, I want to shoot myself when I wake up for the first 5 minutes, and it takes me forever to get going and kind of get mentally ready. So that's one positive that I've noticed so far, but still overall, I'm kind of up in the air on what's better. I really don't know what's better because there are still 10 times in the day when I'm like, oh, I could really use some caffeine. So I'm just gonna play it through the rest of these days and then make a decision what I think's better. Right now, I'm kind of leaning towards only using caffeine when you absolutely need it, if I have the willpower to do so. So I hate to say it, but this is my last week of no caffeine, and I'm still craving it every single day. I'm on my way to the gym right now in the morning, and all I'm thinking about is how much I wish I had a coffee. So that's not a good sign, being almost a month in, and still every single day.
Or should I been more focused on where feet wanted to go?
All right, 30 days down, no caffeine, not even a sip of caffeine. And here's the verdict. Basically, every single day of this entire last 30 days, I thought about drinking coffee or some form of caffeine. Every single day. It didn't really get much better after about week 2. The first week was absolutely horrible. After week 2 to through week 4, pretty much stayed the exact same. I craved it every single day. It's been by far the hardest thing I've ever quit. And my opinion on it now, it's still kind of a toss-up. I see the benefits of not drinking caffeine. I see the benefits of drinking it. So I personally think the best way to use it is to use it as a tool, not to completely abstain from it, but to only use it when you absolutely need it. So, maybe 3 times a week, or, when you have something specific you need to focus on and get done, to use it then, instead of having the mindset of you can never have it. But the problem comes when it becomes a habit and you're doing it every single day, it becomes a crutch, and you're no longer really getting the benefit from the caffeine. Instead, you're just becoming normal from the caffeine. And that's when I think there's no benefit to it. So if you can't have a balance and turn it into a tool, it's probably better to have no caffeine, because there's benefits to not having it as well. As I suspected, my average energy was higher throughout the day. There's no really highs and lows. I didn't feel a crash midday or anything like that, so I could keep going. But then the frustrating part was, if there's a night where you happen to not get enough sleep, then you're basically screwed for the rest of the day, because you have no means to recoup that energy in any way when caffeine could. So that'd be a perfect situation where caffeine is best. If you're never sleeping enough, well, then you should start sleeping enough first. and then figure the rest of your life out. And on top of that, my sleep was much better. In the past, I'd have problems falling asleep and problems with some restless legs out of nowhere. That basically was gone 100% within like a week of quitting. I would fall asleep almost instantly laying down, like within 3 minutes, don't even really remember trying to sleep, and that's not super normal to me, and basically no restless legs at all. So that was a huge plus there, so it was easier to sleep more, and I also felt like I dreamt more, which I'm pretty sure means you're in more of a deep sleep, which would also make sense to not have the stimulus, because also I think the half-life of caffeine is like 6 hours, so it's in your system for a really long time, especially if you're doing like a second midday pick-me-up, you know, top off the coffee kind of thing. That can really affect your sleep in the back end. So where I'm at now is I'm not going to say I'll never drink caffeine again. I'm actually going to celebrate and have a little bit of caffeine and see how it goes, see how powerful it is after, you know, doing none for a whole month. But I'm going to keep it super limited, like maybe 1 or 2 times a week, only when I absolutely need it. And like I said, use it as a tool. So I'm glad I did it to put the perspective in and realize I don't need this crutch, but I can use it as a useful tool. So I appreciate you watching me document this experience and kind of going through it with me. Quite the experience. Until next time.